Welcome to Yoga Marketer, the podcast for yoga teachers everywhere. Now you're a part of a small group of yoga teachers trying to change the world by sharing your passion for yoga. We do this by learning how to market your yoga business, but because this important topic was left out of your yoga teacher training, we have to learn it, live it, and share it. In this podcast, we will give you a glimpse of how to market your yoga business. Welcome back to Yoga Marketer. This is Rafael Arce. Today I want to talk to you about the biggest lie. The biggest lie is if they build it, they will come. And this is something that's said inside the movie Field of Dreams. You may have heard it. 6 years ago, I invested about $10,000 into branding and marketing into a website and wanted to grow my business. Little did I know that maybe a month later, it would only collect cyber dust. I mean, no traffic, no conversions, nothing was going on with the website, with the brand. It looked nice, but what I ended up noticing is that it really didn't do anything. And that's what I find so often in some yoga businesses. They'll launch, the hype is there, the feeling is there, the website is up, all the pictures, you may have your software set up, and people don't come. And they don't come because they don't look at the pretty logo, they don't look so much at maybe the pictures that you're posting up. They're really trying to connect with, how are you going to help me in my yoga journey? Or for those that don't even have a yoga journey, how are you? What's your plan to connect with them at a deeper level? Meaning, if I never practice yoga, or if I've never had a studio practice before, maybe I've had a in-home practice before. Knowing who your target market is very important, because targeting someone that practices at home, maybe they're tired of that and they want just someone to guide them with their body in person. So how are you appealing to those? At the same time, how are you appealing, or how's your website or your content that you're posting on there, or even on social media, appealing to those that need it the most? And that'll depend based on who your target market is. It's not always all the same. Sometimes we just hope that by posting something, even a workshop, that the community is going to react and they're all going to sign up. And it's not true, because there's a lot of homework that you would have to do, and there's a lot of research before launching a workshop to make sure that there's enough demand before you do it. Sometimes we just launch a workshop or a yoga teacher training, and it may be not the right time. There's seasons. Sometimes the understanding the seasons of the yoga business matters, because sometimes there's a slow season. It's not a good time to offer yoga teacher training, depending on the demographic. I know some yoga teacher trainings, we offer them so close together, or sometimes I've seen the yoga teacher trainings that are certifications through Yoga Alliance, where they're offered and spread out through a year long, and that may be too much of a commute for someone. So understanding if you're doing a training that's really long and it's really not beneficial for someone, or if it's too condensed, where sometimes they're not even going to get all of that training and be able to use it, because they're so confused with so much data or so much content or so much training that they haven't even had the time to process what's going on, or how to guide someone, or even find their voice. Now, when you're building something, there's a big hope that things will just come about, and they will manifest, but there's a lot of hard work that goes behind it, and that hard work goes through communication and gauging before you launch something. So for example, if you're just launching a yoga business, and let's say you're doing a studio, start by testing to see what your local market is responding to. Sometimes you're just focused on vinyasa, and sometimes vinyasa in that location, someone may want to look at it a different way. They want restorative. Looking at the yoga studios, a well-balanced yoga studio has always succeeded when they find their tribe. Just because you focus on one certain type of yoga doesn't mean you're not going to thrive. It's just, what is your surrounding, what does your community have to say about that? And that's going to give you an answer, or the confidence to know if you're going to be successful or not. I've seen some new type of yoga pop up in communities, and the community doesn't respond to it. They don't understand it. They don't know what it is. It just doesn't feel right. And I've seen them struggle year after year, still trying to get it off the ground, and it just doesn't work for them. The only reason why it doesn't work for them is because the community doesn't respond to it correctly. So look and do the research in your community. Look at other yoga studios in your area to see if that's really what they want. They may not want that. Look at their pricing. You may be launching a yoga studio, and it may be the right yoga, but maybe your pricing, it's way too overpriced for your market. I've seen the pricing anywhere from $20 a month to $150 a month. I mean, it really varies. So there is no perfect answer when it comes to, am I pricing this correctly? It really depends on what your community is willing to pay for it. Some markets, their families make a lot more money. Their income is a little bit higher, and they value yoga a little bit more. And sometimes you live in a small community where the income is rather low, and they won't have that same the same income to invest in every month in and month out. So do the research beforehand, because if you build something, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not going to come, and it also doesn't mean that it failed because it just yoga doesn't work. It's not that. It's the proper research before deploying your business. Even online, a lot of times you'll launch an online yoga studio and no one really knows who you are, or they've never had an at-home practice before, or for them it's taboo of practicing home alone and not having someone there to guide them and to make sure that they're doing it correctly. Let them know the pros and the cons of being inside of a yoga studio or not being in a yoga studio. The accessibility to do it from their phone, from their tablet, from their laptop. There's a lot of advantages and disadvantages, but you have to do the proper research before doing that. Especially online. The online world is so saturated now with online yoga that you have to appeal or connect with the individuals before you launch your online yoga studio or your online classes, because it really comes down to your community, the tribe that you're building. Whether you're building a tribe in person or a digital tribe online, that eventually you do plan to meet them in person. This happens a lot, where you start online and then you host a retreat or host a workshop or fly out to see them in a particular state. It will work. It just has to be done correctly. And the number one thing you can do that is get research, get data to make sure that someone votes, yes, I will do that. Once you get enough confidence through that, then it's the time to deploy. So again, the biggest lie is building something and hoping that they will come. There has to be enough data to support that. There has to be enough people to raise their hand and say yes, or I will give you my email address. Please notify me when you release this or when you start your studio, and therefore I will sign up. Once you have enough of those, then you have the confidence to deploy. So don't launch it and hope they will come. Make sure you do the work. Now, if you're looking for more content, more of a community, a tribe, head on over to yogatribe.co to join our group. It's just a community of yoga business owners, yoga teachers who are looking to expand their passion for yoga by just using marketing, because marketing is just that, sharing your passion.